cat in the wall, eh? Okay, now you're talking my language.
Do you ever drunk Baileys from a shoe?
Oh, great. Thanks, Mother, for replacing the baby aspirin with LSD.
How much you want to make a bet I can throw a football over the mountain?
All right, welcome back to the Views from Sea Deck. It's part 2 of our preview for the 2023 season for the Ohio State Buckeyes. And now we're on defense. The much maligned defense from last year that was giving up 450-plus yards and 30-plus points to every offense that actually had a pulse, but looked good against the bad teams. And our man Jim Knowles, he's one bad game probably away from being on the hot seat this year. But it may be a while till we see that. Well, maybe not. Western Kentucky early on could test us. Dyerwolf. I'm just Matt. That's the Dyerwolf there. Casey, what do you think coming into this season? Is Jim Knowles going to right the ship that we saw sinking and flailing around like the Titanic against Michigan and Georgia last year?
I really think he will. I had high expectations for him last year, and then the first few games, our defense actually looked legit because we didn't know how good some of those teams were we were playing. Mm-hmm. The defense basically won that game against Notre Dame, but it turns out the offense.
I was ready to hang the banners after that Notre Dame game last year.
Yep. But I think he is a great coordinator. He just takes so many damn risks, and I'm hoping he learned from that. And then it just seems like everybody's taking strides. Like I heard Sawyer finally in the role he was born to play. Looks like a stud. Sonny Styles is a goddamn freak. He's solidified that starting role. I really think they're going to be. I mean, it's. I was saying last year we'd be ranked top 10 or top 15 or whatever, and by certain categories we were top 10 because we dominated those crappy teams. So I don't really want to get into where we'll be ranked, I guess, but I think the defense is going to bail out the offense this year in a couple of games, whereas it was the opposite last year.
And I'll say anybody who got to play Iowa last year should have an asterisk next to their ranking because that's just not. I mean, it's like playing a kindergarten team offensively, and we got to play them, and we really had a good game against them.
and the Northwestern game in the 50-mile-an-hour winds.
Mm-hmm. We actually gave up a ton of yards in that game, though, running. But like last year with Knowles coming in and the things you were hearing out of camp, there's a lot of optimism surrounding this defense, really being a legit top 10 defense. And it starts on the D-line with, like you said, JT and Sawyer, JT Tuimalau and Jack Sawyer with Mike Hall and Tyleik Williams, or maybe Tywone Malone coming over in a transfer from Ole Miss, which is a nice addition, starting at D-tackle. But those four, they're all studs. They all were highly recruited players, obviously 2 5-stars at DN. Mike Hall was like a top 50 overall recruit at D-tackle. And you will see all 4 of them in various mock drafts going in the first round. I don't agree with any of that because the production has not matched the hype. But they were very good. At the very least, they were good last year. They just didn't quite get to the quarterback as much as they should. Our leading sacker was Hall with 4.5 sacks last year. That ain't enough. And we've had that trouble for a few years now. And Coach Larry Johnson is the GOAT D-line coach, no doubt in my mind. In the history of college football, he is. Mm-hmm. Definitely here at Ohio State, no doubt. Yep. But the last 3 years, his D-lines have not produced the way that they did in the past when we had the Bosas and Chase Young, and even going back to like John Simon and Taquan Lewis. What was his first name? We had so many ties here.
We a guy with 5 sacks since Chase Young, I believe, which is insane.
That's nuts. And then we had a 5-star DN in Zach Harrison all these years, who ended up getting drafted in the 4th round, 3rd round.
Yeah.
But never could get to the quarterback. We need to get to the quarterback. This is modern college football. You aren't just going to 3-and-out people by holding them to like 2 yards, 3 yards, incomplete pass. You have to get sacks and get them behind the sticks because the offenses are just too good. But the D-line's not only the starters are good, and we're hoping Sawyer and JT finally live up and get the numbers that, I mean, they've played well, but their numbers actually match up to the talent. But the backups have also been getting a lot of hype. Kenyatta Jackson Jr. being the number one guy that all through the spring and through the summer people have been raving about. And I would love to see him as I don't think, even Coach Johnson alluded to this, that they're not going to rotate as much this year up front as they have in the past just because those starters are so good. But as a third down pass rushing specialist, I'd love to see him come in. Caden Curry, I thought was really flashed a lot last year, and looks like the next stud coming in. He needed to put on a few more pounds, but he looks good. I'm really excited about the depth at the end, and then at D tackle, Ty Hamilton, Malone, like I said, coming over from Ole Miss, who was a highly recruited guy, and we all thought he was coming here except for he wanted to play some baseball for a year. That's a big ass baseball player. Yeah. But Ty Hamilton also coming back, big leader. I've never been about. I think he's just a guy, but he's a good guy, a good depth guy. And Hero Canoe, I think, could also make some noise. But it's all going to rest on the starters. Can they get to the quarterback? Can they create havoc? Can they stay healthy?
Yeah, that's the key. Sure.
Now, behind those guys, there are no questions whatsoever at linebacker, since we only played two. And they both played basically every snap last year, and they both were studs, including our defensive captain and All-American last year, and preseason All-American Tommy Eichenberg. Finally. What'd you say?
He got snubbed last year.
He did. He was a beast, though. He was all over the field. He's a little bit limited athletically, but not a lot. Just a little bit, though. He's not quite sideline to sideline type speed, but he's close, and he makes a lot of plays. And it's the first guy I've seen read, react, hit, and it's like that since Ryan Shazier, maybe Raekwon. Raekwon Millen was pretty much close to that.
He'll be playing.
Oh yes, he'll be playing on Sundays for sure. And Steele Chambers is a better athlete, and he does have the sideline speed. I do not worry at all when I see him running down a running back. I'm like, oh, he's about to get him. Like we're not letting that get past us. So those two are excellent, and our backups. Everybody talks about C.J. Hicks as the next guy. Yeah. Cody Simon is a very solid player too. I'm not worried at all about this position. It should be a strength of the team.
Mm-hmm.
I
completely. Yeah, Eichenberg. I thought going into last year, JT and Sawyer were going to be the strength of the defense, but it was Eichenberg, honestly, and I mean just our linebackers in general, and I almost a certainty it will be this year.
Yeah, I mean there isn't a game they cost us. They played well every game except, maybe Michigan, but I didn't think they were bad against Michigan. It wasn't like the gap misses were more on the safeties than them. Yeah, I mean and like I said, the depth behind them, no worries at linebacker.
No.
Now we get to the secondary though, which was the weakness last year. They took turns being the weakest parts, the corners and the safeties. It was just a big circle of suck. That culminated in the last two games where we were giving up 70-yard, 5-yard plays like it was our job. It's not our job. It's actually our job to stop those plays, Casey. Did you know this?
Yeah, I think I did know that.
But I said after the end of last year, I think as much as it is a scheme issue with us just playing schemes we weren't capable of, it was a personnel issue. Actually, I said that after the Maryland game where I'm like, I don't know if we just have the personnel to stop somebody. And we needed an infusion of talent, especially at safety, and we got it. And at corner, we got a huge infusion at both spots through the transfer portal and Sonny Styles stepping up. I mean, he should have been a high school senior last year, so he should be a true freshman this year. So I'm counting that as an infusion of talent. I cannot wait to see what that freak is going to be doing out there.
Yeah, they said they're going to get him on the field as much as they can, and I can't wait to see it either. And yeah, that was by far the weakness of the team, and we just trumped it and elevated, like you said, infusion of talent. I like that.
Yeah,
that phrasing.
Yeah, huge infusion. So the starting safeties, Lathan Ransom also going to start for sure. The other starting safety spot is kind of up for grabs. Jahad Carter just lost his black stripe today, but he's been talked about with the starters already this year. Could be Cam Martinez. He's been talked about some. Josh Proctor's always floating around, but it seems like he's like every time they hype him up, all of a sudden, like everybody watches practices, say he's like not with the starters. So I wouldn't expect it. I think it's going to be Carter. The transfer from Syracuse was All ACC last year. I like his ability. I want the new guys. I mean, Ransom, he was really good actually. I thought for the most part until around the Michigan game, but that was such a bad performance of him. And then the Georgia game was even worse, and obviously him falling down being the highlight of that. But he also missed several tackles, took bad angles. These guys have to play better. We play a 4-2-5. We play 3 safeties. The safeties just they have to be playmakers. They have to go force the turnovers, stuff the run, be able to guard in the pass. Sonny Styles, I think, is going to be able to do it. He played great against the best tight end ever, apparently.
Yeah.
in hours.
Better than Marvin, apparently, on some
yes. Yes.
Give me a break.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
I haven't mentioned Burke, which he got pooped on a lot by all kinds of fans, including me at times, but not as much as others.
We're moving on to corners, Casey. You can start us off, though. Let's go to corners. Talk about Denzel Burke. Go.
Well, I thought we were defensive backs in general. Both sucked. Just a colossal suck circle, or whatever you said.
Yeah, circle of suck.
But it sounds like Burke is improving, and he's almost for sure going to start, right?
Yeah. He's got the starting shot locked down. Yeah.
All year though, it seemed like, I mean, he would have good plays and bad, but it was just inopportune times and just make you shake your head.
Oh, Burke. Yeah, I just thought he struggled last year. It looked like a step back, but everybody's saying, we saw his freshman year what he's capable of, which was reminded me of Denzel Ward, a young Denzel Ward at the time, which he was very sticky, not the best ball skills, but very sticky, was not afraid to hit. A little undersized, which he still is, but like I said, he was always in the right position his freshman year, it seemed like, to make plays or break up passes. And then last year, it was more like watching a Sean Wade season, like when he became the man, where just like every jump ball he's losing, he's getting turned on every now and then. Yeah.
He had all the hype in the world, and it was like he got a pass all year. So I thought maybe potentially he wouldn't have the starting position locked up, but it sounds like somebody.
It sounds like there's a very clear top 3. So when we go nickel, but Burke, Jordan Hancock, who's been hurt, I'm hoping he is, from what I've asked from my sources, he's not quite Marshawn Lattimore, but I'm hoping for a Marshawn Lattimore type thing where you hear about this guy forever, but he's always hurt, so you never actually see him his first couple of years, and then all of a sudden he comes in and has an All-American type season.
Yeah. That would be nice.
And then we have the transfer from Ole Miss, the other transfer from Ole Miss that was here first, Benison, who I have loved everything I've seen. Super competitive guy. John's on Twitter about how he can lock down Marvin in practice, which I don't believe, but I like the confidence. He's got great size too. He's 6'2" corner. I think those 3 could be legit. And I do think part about last year and the struggles where it seemed like our technique in the secondary was lacking. Like we did bad steps. We'd be turned around in ways that you shouldn't be, not being able to identify where the ball is in the air. I think part of that is when you have a new defense, you're just trying to learn defense that first year and not maybe refining those techniques. So I'm hoping that this offseason it's been more refining going on and that these guys are ready to play and man up on people and get in their business and bring back what we were from Denzel Ward and Lattimore and Okuda and everybody that was coming down there for about a 7 or 8 year stretch.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I thought the same thing. Like they were kind of learning the defense, and the second year should be huge steps. But it does make me a little bit weary, a little bit nervous of these transfers because they haven't had that year. But they have their peers to ask questions to and learn that way. But that does have me a little bit concerned with those transfers because I think they're going to play major roles.
Oh, yes. Oh, they're going to be huge. I mean, they're going to have to be huge. If we're going to take the next step, they're going to have to be Malone on the line and both guys in the secondary. They're going to have to be players. Because what we've had before just wasn't getting the job done. Like we needed new personnel in there. Backups at corner though, Jair Brown, who got some time last year, got a start when we had like everybody injured against Toledo, and struggled a little bit, but true freshman starting in like his fourth game when he's not even been the number one guy, so he hasn't got those reps. It's very understandable. But also a true freshman out of Cincinnati, Whitten Woods, Matthews coming in. I'm very excited about him. Already lost the stripe. He has a lot of hype and really just came on last year in high school and elevated from like a lower 3-star recruit to like a high 4-star recruit by the time all is said and done, and they made their way through the playoffs. Sounds like he's going to be a player, and I'm excited to see him in some cleanup action against these early scrub teams.
Yeah, for the future, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. I said it in the last one. I mean, the defense is going to bail the offense out this year, and it's going to be because of those transfers, and then all of this, what was it, the 2021 class, right?
Yes. The juniors. Yeah.
Yep. They're going to have to step up. They're going to have to earn their draft grades, man.
Yeah. You see so many guys. I mean, JT, Sawyer, Burke I've seen, and Ransom I've seen before. Hall and Tyleek makes no sense whatsoever. He's barely played, and when he has, he's been like good but not great. And like his freshman year, he was kind of good. And even Eichenberg, although I don't see it in the first round. I've seen first round at various mock drafts. I've seen first round grades on these guys, and I'm like, man, nobody here has made the production to believe that. But we've seen the flashes. If all these flashes can come together and be consistent.
Yeah.
Oh my God, give me the silver bullets back because it's been a while, baby.
2019, not that long.
Okay, but other than 2019, 18 was just as bad as last year.
Yeah. Yes. 16 was pretty.
16 was nice. That's the last really nice defense besides 19. 19 and 16, if we can get to that level, you're right, we're contenders. Because the offense will be at least good, if not great. But they'll be good. And if we have a great defense and a good offense, I'll take that. Because that was the Jim Tressel years.
I'd say the floor of the offense is top 15. The ceiling is top 5. If the defense can be top 10, then that we can win the whole damn thing.
I guess I agree with your ceiling if the quarterback ends up being what it's been under Day. But if it's not, I don't think the ceiling's that high.
Yeah.
But speaking of Jim Tressel, as I was bringing up a second ago, we got to talk about the punter and the best play in sports.
Yeah.
The punt, Jesse Mirko was excellent last year. Should be challenging for all Big Ten. Big Ten has some really good punters and has for years. So I don't think he got any awards last year, but I thought he was really good for the most part.
Yeah.
Pinned the ball deep well. Never really messed up, except for when he took that fake punt against Rutgers when he shouldn't have. got us all into a little bit of a ruckus. That's okay. Yeah. I like a man that'll do that. I always want to see the guy actually take the ball when everybody runs away.
Yeah. Oh, I thought never mind. I was thinking of the Michigan fake punt. Was that Mirko or was that
No, that was to the up back. That was to Mitch Rossi.
That's right. Yeah.
No, Mirko did a hell of a job of getting that punt off because nobody was blocking for a punt on it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then the Georgia got called back.
Yeah, but this defense and I think the punting team should be fine. We've been excellent. I hate our special teams and I hate Parker Fleming in general, but our punting has been pretty good last few years. But all these coaches, so Tim Walton's coaching the corners, Periano safety, Knowles coaches linebackers, but James Laurinaitis back, the little animal, to help out with that now as a GA, and will eventually be he's taking the Brian Hartline road, I think, be the GA and come on and end up being the linebacker coach, position coach. They're all on the hot seat. They're all on the hot seat. I think if any of their groups fail this year, they're gone. Any of their groups, and that includes Larry Johnson.
Knowles won't be gone, I don't think.
Oh, he's gone after this year. If we are not a top, if they cost us games, not maybe like one game they have a bad game, that's fine. If they're cost us games, and especially if they can't stop Michigan, he's gone. That's a guarantee. He doesn't even have a contract after this year.
So you're saying if we go 11-1, lose to Michigan, and it's because of the defense, Knowles is gone?
Oh yeah,
I don't agree.
no doubt. He's not even having a contract.
Who are you going to get? I don't know.
The next young up and coming thing.
If we lose multiple games because of that, I'm with you. But I don't know, man. If we're 11-0, number 2 in the country, and we lose to Michigan for the same freaking reasons, I'm going to be pissed as hell for sure. But I don't think he gets fired.
Oh, I would bet you anything you. I bet you. I'll bet 100 on that one. We can put it down. Hopefully, it doesn't come down to that, but but I don't think it's going to happen either. Because I do. This is funny though, because I asked you at the end of the season last year if you had faith that he could turn it around. You said no, and I said yes, and now we're flipping back and forth here. Snip, snap.
Well, I was just so pissed off, probably.
It was too fresh.
Yes, fresh.
Oh, okay. Any bold predictions here for the defense this year?
The defense, I was thinking about it while we were kind of switching. You caught me off guard on the offensive one, but that stat I said about no defensive lineman has had 5 sacks since Chase Young, I'm going to say 3 do it this year. That's my bold prediction.
Man. I don't think it's that bold because I think JT Sawyer and Hall all do pretty easily.
But if they all do, that they're going to – I don't want to get too bold, but the really bold one would be we break the team record for sacks. And if all 3 of those guys get like 6, 7, 8 sacks, then we'll probably be getting close.
That's true. I'll be bold and say Jordan Hancock does pull a Lattimore and pulls down 6 interceptions this year, which would be the most we've had since Marshawn Lattimore.
6.
Whew. Oh no, actually, I believe Malik Hooker had. Yeah, we'll go with 7, and he ties Malik Hooker's more modern record. Oh, I'll take safety play like that. I mean, he's the starter on the all-time team. What a guy.
I think so.
But just give me something that makes me think of the Silver Bullets. A double fist Coors Lights and just Stone Cold Steve Austin all over my head as they're crushing through people and hopefully going up to Ann Arbor. And we've given up a lot of points and a lot of running yards the last 2 years. Jim Knowles, I will suck you dry if you can get that taken care of and stop those MFers up there and don't get bully balled like we have the last 2 years.
Hold them under 20, and we got them. It's in the bag, and I think we can do it.
I think we can do it too. All right, but that'll do it for our preview of the defense, offense taken care of. But now we got to break down the schedule. So check us out on our next podcast. We're going to break down the schedule and break down a few betting odds since my friend Dyerwolf and I are some gambling men. But thanks for watching us. Like and subscribe and check us out everywhere that we're at on social media. And we will see you guys later.
Hey guys! Whoa, big gulps, huh? All right. Well, see you later.
A rich man's world.